action.
Ow, oh, that really hurt, Francis. Well, welcome to Steve's virtual video podcast e-classroom. I'm just going to take a few minutes with you to go through with you mind maps, because we're talking mind maps in task 2 of unit 3. We're doing a networking mind map and we're doing a social network mind map. And I just wanted to quickly give you a few examples of what we're looking for each of those, so that when you do them, you'll have seen it done and you'll be happy. And that's what we really are all about here at YMIS, is just to make you happy. Okay, all right, so now the first mind map in task 2 is a networking mind map. And what we're asking you to do is to brainstorm all the reasons why you would think networking would be a useful thing to do. Then you need to look at who you might do those things with and how you might do those things. So what it might look like is something like this. In the middle of your page, you'd have a little circle. I know this isn't the middle of the page, so don't send me emails. Okay, but in the middle of the page, you'd have something like that, networking. Okay, and then you'd think, what's my first reason why I'm going to brainstorm, why am I going to be networking? Well, I'm going to say I'm going to be networking because I'm going to be wanting some professional development. I'm going to want to become a better chaplain or a better youth worker, so I'm going to have to find some ways of doing that. And then you start thinking, okay, well, who? How do you spell that? Who am I going to go to get developed professionally? And you might say, well, Scripture Onion has some good professional development things. I might like to go with them. You might say Education Queensland has got some good things. They might be running some things through the school, and the school might help you access something. Or it might be someone else that you're into. You might be into Hillsong Conferencing or Tier Australia or Forge Networks, and you might want to think about those sort of things. So once you get to who, then you've got a bit of a selection there, some ideas. Then you might say, well, how am I going to do that through those people? And then you might say, well, I'm going to do what I've done. Someone told me I had to do the diploma. Why do they do that? And you can say, I'm going to go and do the diploma with them. Locally, I'm going to go to some of my cluster events, or I might just want to maybe hang out with some chaplains. And in just sort of hanging out with them, you know, having a cup of coffee, meeting informally, I'm going to learn some stuff. I'm going to get professionally developed. And so that might be how that arm would look like. And you do the same thing for Education Queen. You do the same thing for your Hillsong conference or a Tier conference or something, or a Forge internship, and you sort of draw out, these are the ways I'm going to do that. And once you do that arm, then you start on your next arm. That might be to raise funds, or it might be to get supported. And then you keep going out, and your mind map looks a bit messy like that. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're looking for. We're looking for you to do that with about 10 of the whys. So have a crack at that and see how you go. Okay, now I'm just going to do some rubbing out here. Very high tech here in Steve's virtual video online learning laboratory. And there you go, we just sort of click of a button, that's all fixed. Now, the second part of task 2 is a social networking mind map. And there are a whole lot of different proper sort of social networking mapping tools, which we're not sort of exposing you too much, except in little bits, just showing you glimpses of them in the unit introduction and portfolio and things like that. But again, just using the mind map tool, basically to sort of look at what's going on in the relationships with a young person or child that you might be working with or have some sort of relationship with, and just to sort of see how they're tracking. The good thing about social network mind mapping or mapping is it just gives us a bit of a, funnily enough, map on how someone's going in their relationships. We all know that relationships are valuable, that they help us get all the good things out of life when they're going well. And so it's just a way of being able to sort of map out roughly how's someone going in that way. Have they got what they need socially to get by? So again, we start in the middle with our child, X, because we're being very confidential. You don't have to use the letter X, you can use any other letters of your choosing really, but you want to be confidential here. And then you want to sort of start again brainstorming what are some of the relationships, the key relationships that they have. And so you might go, okay, well they've got their family, They've got their friends. Now, for a bit outside of that, you might say they've got their peers. Oh, I'm giving too much away here. You might say they're associated with youth groups. Okay, so you start to sort of mud map out, network map out, mind map out some of the key relationships. And again, we're looking for maybe 8, 10 of those there, the sort of who of their relationships, or in some ways the what, because it might be more in might be organisations or informal organisations that they're sort of networked up with socially, and they might be of a real help to them, like Chaplaincy Youth Group, a youth welfare type service, so that sort of thing. And then you want to talk about some of the more specifics, specific who's in that relationship. So there might be mum or dad, sister, however you want to sort of do that. So who are the sort of people in that relationship? And then out of here, you're starting to look at some of the positives and some of the negatives of each of those. What's the nature of some of those relationships? How are those relationships going? Are they bonding ones and building up ones? Are they sort of a bit isolated? Is there some grief and loss? You're just trying to get a bit of a map of how those real key relationships are building young people up, or sort of putting them maybe at risk of some danger. And so you go through and do the same thing here and same thing out there until again you get your nice messy mind map process to sort of see how young people are going. You get a bit of a look at that. And you can also use these sort of things as tools with young people to help them sort of, or to help you with them, make a bit of a plan. And where could we go to from here? Who could we sort of tee you up with locally? You want to get involved with Scouts, PCYC, local church, youth group. What's going on in your family? How could we help you to get on better with your mum? Are you having some problems with your siblings? Let's sort of suss that out. You're getting bullied at school, So you can sort of start to use this tool as a bit of a map of where the strengths are, and so things you can really build on with a child or young person to help them get ahead, or some of the risks and some of the things that you might need to address and put some attention to. So that's what we're looking for in the second part of that task. So that's sort of mind mapping for you. We've given you some other resources to look at for mind mapping. So hopefully between this video, the unit introduction, other bits and pieces on there, you'll have some sort of idea of how to do the mind map and how to get that task done. And we hope that it's a really useful task, and we hope that it's a really useful set of tools for you to use in the future. So good luck with that, and we'll talk to you later on. Bye now.